It's really nice. It's so nice to have somebody to talk with rather than just talk at myself. Welcome back to another episode, and today is going to be very different because I'm not here on my own talking to you. I have one of my lovely ex-clients who actually is still working with me on a monthly basis, but he's graduated from the Change Your Life program. He worked with me on a one-to-one, and he has kindly offered to give up his time today to come on the podcast and talk to you guys from the perspective of what it is actually like, because I rave about my program and that I really believe in it and the power of it and everything, but I know that it must make such a difference to hear from somebody who is on the other side. So I'm really, really pleased to welcome Ewan to the podcast today, and we're just going to have a chat about the program and what it was like. So welcome, Ewan. Thank you for joining us. Share whatever's come into mind first of all.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Well, I guess that's a little bit of an introduction. So I'm a 42, God, that's old, but 42-year-old dad of two, separated, and have, I guess, sort of going into why I was looking for this kind of thing. I've been sort of suffering really since my early 20s. So for about 20 years now, with kind of depression and anxiety and a few other challenges here and there that really over the last couple of years with COVID and some stuff that happened in my family and a few other bits and pieces kind of reappeared really with a little bit of a vengeance back last year. So I think I was actually working with James Boardman, wasn't I? And saw you on one of his podcasts actually, or a video on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I think it might have been, and I just thought, if it works for other people, maybe that's something worth looking at for me, really. So so that's when I first reached out to you and got in touch.
Yeah, brilliant. And I always share the fact that anybody I work with starts in survival mode because that's the point of my work, to get people out of survival mode and live in the life that they want to live rather than stuck in survival mode. And so anybody that I do a connection call with is or a discovery call with is in survival mode, and by definition that means that you are very risk averse and very skeptical because you're hyper vigilant and hyper alert to potential threats or dangers or scams or whatever. So the skeptic in you is going to be ever present on a discovery call, and you've been quite open about that with me, haven't you, about how skeptical you were? So do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I think, you've hit the nail on the head with me there, is that I'm just quite skeptical by nature. I was brought up, my dad was an accountant and everything was very logic focused, and I've always been quite scientific in my approach to things. I need evidence and I need this and that and proof and all of the rest of it. And so everything you've just mentioned there actually, and that you just mentioned before, really was exactly how I was. That hypervigilance and constantly on the lookout for things that could do me harm or whatever, even when there isn't really anything out there. And it's exhausting, to be honest, to be constantly in that frame of mind, constantly. I was just exhausted, and I tried CBT and that, and I'm not knocking it at all. That has helped me a lot and helps a lot of people. But it was, I've been doing that for kind of 20 years now, and to be honest, I still was suffering with the same issues, really, perhaps not to quite the same extent, but they're definitely still really prominent. So I came into that first call really skeptical, kind of, I suppose, looking for you to almost prove me wrong, if that makes any sense, and just to get a better understanding of what it was, because I think for me, and I think a lot of people who've not been through programs like this, is hypnosis is the kind of stuff you see on TV. Where people are, running around clucking like chickens or eating onions, thinking they're apples and all the rest of it. So I just wasn't really sure what to expect or what it meant or what it was. I just knew that I was on the lookout for something that could help. And having, I think in that first call that you and I spoke on, really that introductory call, as soon as that call was done, really I was in. I was keen to kind of get going. But and looking back now, however many months later, I'm so glad I did do that. Yeah, it's been amazing.
What is it that what made you want to work with me on that call and put your fears to the side, do you think, and think, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna go for this?
I think, to be honest, for me, it was, you kind of really clearly explained exactly what the process was going to be, what the course was, what it wasn't. But you also explained how you've helped people like me in the past. And, going back, I guess, to that scientific bit of me, if you like, that was the evidence that I was looking for, and that was some of the proof that I was looking for. And to be honest, there was also a little bit of me just going, look, just give it a go. Just let's give this a go. If it's worked for other people, it could work for me. I want it to work. And I think I just felt comfortable in that initial call, and I just thought, yeah, this will be a good way to go.
Brilliant. So we finished work together over a month ago now, haven't we? So how would you describe the transformation that you made from the start of the program to the end of the program?
It's been massive, to be honest with you. I think I said to you once before, probably a few weeks back, I said that I've literally achieved more in this last 12 weeks, or during that 12-week program, than I did in 20 years with CBT. And I never thought I would say that. I thought, yeah, okay, it might help a little, or or help a bit. But I'm so used to things being so slow and prolonged and everything else. I thought this might be similar, but I can't. Yeah, I wish I could almost go back and tell myself, God knows how many years ago, to do it sooner, because I think I'm still obviously the same person, but the way I look at the world and the way I perceive the world and my outlook on life is just so much better. It's just such it's a nicer place to be. I know literally this week it's been really sunny and everything, but that's almost, and it's cheesy as hell probably, but that's how life kind of feels at the moment. It feels sunnier and lighter and brighter compared to where I was before, when it was all doom and gloom and all the rest of it. And I think, even if you'd have said to me prior to this that I'd be doing something like this podcast, for example, I would have said, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way I would do something like that. And
yeah.
So I think even just the fact that I'm here doing this is, all the evidence I think I would have needed back then to say, blimey, how have you made such a big difference in such a short period of time? Because this is the kind of thing usually, or previously in almost that past life, where I would have been awake last night. I probably would have backed out about half an hour ago, to be honest. I would never have agreed to do it in the first place, in all likelihood. So I just can't tell you, the difference it's made to me. And I've got friends and family who are noticing it. It's noticeable when I'm around my kids as well. So it's made so much of a difference to me. And that's why I'm continuing to work with you, really, because I'm kind of thinking, geez, if I can make that sort of a change or transformation in 12 weeks, what can I do in 6 months or a year?
Yeah.
So I'm honestly excited for what's next, really, which is cool.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I put the program together as a 3-month program, and the point being is we need the time to completely rewire the brain so that you've got subconscious positive habits, because it's not just about hypnotherapy, is it? It's about you learning the tools of how your mind works and the ways to live a more resilient, more positive, more calm life day in, day out, because we can't get rid of the primitive brain. Like, that's not about that. It's always going to be there. It's just learning how to manage and live with a caveman brain in the modern day world. And so absolutely, I designed the program for you to be 100% fine and ready to live the rest of your life without never ever needing to work with me again at the end of the program. But people have really enjoyed the experience and want to continue working with me. So is it, I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but is that the case? Like, did you get to the end of the program and think, this is great, but I want to carry on? Because
yeah, definitely, because there was, I think, like you say, you gave me the tools, if you like, during that 12 weeks to kind of change things. And like you say, a lot of it isn't just the hypnosis part. It's the, you know, you explaining different aspects of the brain and the way we think, and that sort of education piece. But the habits actually was a real big one for me, you know, doing bits around positivity and intention setting and that kind of thing. What makes a huge difference to me. And I do it daily now, just because I know how much it works. And so, yeah, no, all of them kind of put together, it's like the perfect storm, really, when you're trying to make those changes that, you know, I know that I had wanted to make for so long, but almost just felt like I was hitting my head against a brick wall, really. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to, I guess, sort of break through that wall and kind of look forward. But so I had everything in place during the 12 weeks, but for me, it's just about keeping that going, maintaining the progression that I'm making, I guess, as well. Plus, that just, you know, it's a real good way of just making sure that I'm staying on track and that I'm, you know, doing things in all the right ways, because I don't want to get lazy or, you know, which, to be honest, occasionally I can do. So,
but the thing is, you know how your mind works now. So even if you did get a little bit lazy, you'd immediately be able to recognize that, and you'd be able to do things because you can spot a mile off now a primitive brain thought and an intellectual mind thought, and you can just self-manage. How would you describe how you are now, a month after finishing the program, compared to where you were at when you finished?
Well, better still. Yeah, I mean, even when I'd finished the 12-month progress, the 12-week program.
12 week, yeah.
Months, yeah, not yet. You know, like I say, I had everything in place to kind of do the things I needed, but I've continued to make that same progress post program because I'm doing all of the same things. You know, I'm listening to the you know, your recorded hypnosis, which is obviously bespoke to what I'm looking to try to do. I'm continuing with all of the different habits and everything like that, and each day, you know, it gets better. You build on the day before, and you build on the day before. So although each day is only, you know, say 1% better than the day before, if you like, you know, after not long, it's a hell of a lot better. So I'm just genuinely excited with the amount of progress that I've made with your help over the, you know, not just a 12-week program, but since. So it's just been an amazing time, and I'm honestly waking up, and I'm not, or haven't been, a morning person really in a long time, but in the last couple of months, I'm looking forward to getting up and out of bed, because I now, you know, I look forward to the things that are coming in my day, even some of the ones that are more challenging, because I think and presume they're going to go well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's the thing,
makes
isn't it?
such a massive, it's a huge change. Yeah.
And are you proud? Are you, like I am? I'm so privileged to do the work that I do and to see the progress. And for us this isn't a client session, this is us talking about all of the progress you've made. So it feels amazing. But are you proud of yourself and how far you've come?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was talking about, I think, on the call the other day, wasn't it? It was just that, you know, I'm really proud of myself for how I've stuck with it. I'm following through on everything I say I'm going to do, and just the amount of progress that I've made is, you know, has been brilliant. I've just had such a lovely time, and I know that I'll continue to do that. So I actually find myself now, you know, almost and I'm someone, by the way, that previously had you know, try to keep my head down, almost try and be Mr. Grey, melt into the background, you know, didn't want to get out of my comfort zone. And now I'm actually looking forward to doing things that are outside of my comfort zone, like this, to be honest with you, because I know that once we're done today, I'm going to feel even more positive about myself. And then I'm thinking about, right, what's next? What do I do after this? And that's a real different mindset completely to how I was before, where it was just about, don't put yourself out there because this could go wrong or that could go wrong. And now it's just done a 180 really, which is cool.
Something's really telling me to bring up Christmas.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, you were really well. Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
basically, I think it was under halfway through the program,
Mhm.
or maybe just coming up to halfway, and yeah, you really amazed me with Christmas.
Pretty much amazed myself, really, in that. So I got COVID about 3-4 days before Christmas, I think it was. And during that time, I'd had a really tough year. I'd lost both parents last year, and because of that, I'd put loads on Christmas and spending it with my kids. And my son's birthday is on the 22nd of December as well, so it's just a really, I was really looking forward to it. I'd taken a time off for work and bought everything you need to buy and all the rest of it. And then I got the positive COVID test and had to self isolate. For whatever it was, 10 days. But that 10 days included my son's birthday, included Christmas Day. And so, to make sure that the kids didn't miss out, they were with their mum that day. So I knew essentially that I was going to be spending Christmas Day completely on my own. And, that's not ideal, for nobody. And I think previously I would have been, and I almost half expected it to just be a miserable day. Do I just pretend it doesn't happen? It's not Christmas, I'll do it another time. But sort of in the build up to it, I started finding that actually my mindset was quite different to almost what I was expecting. It almost took me by surprise, to be honest, because I got to the day and I thought, you know what, I don't have to watch any naff kids TV bits of Peppa Pig. Yeah, no, no stuff I don't want to. I can really kind of treat myself on the day. I can lie into when I want. I can eat what I want because I still had all the nice stuff, and watch what I want on TV. I did get to see my kids. It was through a window, but I got to see my kids. I got to see friends who popped over and sort of chatted to them. My brother and his family through the window, and I was just really surprised by how nice a day I had, to be honest with you. And that was all, it could have been that horrible, dark, miserable day, but because of, I think a lot of what I had learned in the program already, even though, like you say, I was only about halfway through, I had a really nice day. I had a few drinks and lots to eat and watched lots of stuff on TV. And, I got to see a lot of the people that, like I say, my kids and family and friends and things. So, it was a little bit different to maybe what I'd planned, but I really made the most of it and stayed positive with it on a day that it would have been very easy to have been extremely pessimistic about it and negative. So, it was, like I say, it took me by surprise, but a really nice one.
Yeah, and me too. It was a lovely shock to, read that email that you sent on the day. What would you say to anybody who's listening to this who maybe resonates with some of the challenges that you talked about at the start, or they're a bit interested? What would you say to them if they're thinking about maybe working with me?
Do it. One, probably, knowing what I know now. But I think for me, and it's not, there's no sort of golden chalice when it comes to these things, but you do have to work yourself. You have to put the time in yourself. It's not just about the hour that we would have on a weekly basis. There is a lot of stuff you need to do for yourself behind the scenes as well. So, but it's you kind of guide people through that and guide me through it. And there was a lot of contact between sessions as well. I know that I was WhatsApping you, occasionally when I was struggling with something, or if I had questions, or if I just wanted to let you know the positive things that were happening, during the day and that sort of thing. But so yeah, it was a really good course. You explained everything about how it was going to work, and what was expected of me as the person on the program. And so, I mean, if this is the kind of thing that someone's considering for depression or anxiety, or social anxiety, which is what I have, I just can't.
Ewan.
Yeah. See, I'm still learning. I would just say, just do it. I'm extremely skeptical person. Like I say, I need that proof and things. And if it's worked for me, and is continuing to work for me, it can definitely work for anyone out there, I think. So I would just say, just do it. Just invest in yourself. put the time in, if you put the time in, you really do get the rewards out. And I've not felt this relaxed and calm and positive literally in probably 25-30 years.
Wow,
and
that's amazing.
It's literally like someone's taken a rucksack of weights off my back or something. It just feels great and continues to, and long may that last, I think.
Yeah, it will do, because you know exactly how your brain works now. And the thoughts that you're thinking, your subconscious mind is always listening. So yeah, you're never ever going back to square one, and that's the point, isn't it? That's why the whole program exists. It's not just the hypnotherapy, it's all of the teaching involved as well. And just want to pick up on something you said about how it's not just the weekly call, it's the work that you put in, as the client, and that is so true. Like, I don't accept anybody to work with. I need to make sure that they're the right person, and by that I mean that, number one, they're in survival mode, but number two, they have the right the right attitude, because you need to come at this program with an empowered state, knowing that, or understanding, once I tell you this, but understanding that you are the change maker, because all of the things that you need are within you. You just need the right support and guidance to get to where you want to be. And so I make it very, very clear that I am not a miracle worker, or I'm not your savior. You save yourself, basically. You're your own change maker. So yeah, absolutely, you do need to be willing to put the work in. But if you do, then amazing things can happen, as you and my other clients have experienced. So yeah, thank you so much for giving up your time and coming onto the podcast and sharing your experience, because honestly, I think it will help a lot of people hear a different perspective, because it's one thing for me to rave about my program. Obviously I'm going to, but it's really, really nice to have you here to talk about your experiences. So thank you so much, Ewan, and see you all, everybody, on the next podcast. Bye. My mission with this podcast and why I started it was to serve. And so I really hope that everything I've shared with you today and in previous episodes is serving you and helping you to change your life. It requires consistent action. It requires effort. But if you're willing to put in the work, then you can absolutely change a great deal just by listening to me and implementing my advice. However, if you're listening and you would like to work with me, then obviously I work too. I do solution-focused hypnotherapy and much more. And my program is called Change Your Life. And it's a program that I'm really proud of. So if you're interested in this and would like some more information about how it works and whether it would be right for you, then do get in touch with me via the information in the show notes. Thanks again for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to share it with a friend or stick it up on stories on Instagram and tag me at Believe and Achieve with Jenna. See you next week.